I just realized I had the mic turned off this whole time. So that was great.
Mr. Kyle, how are you doing?
How are you?
Doing good. Yourself?
Good, man.
Second, Mr. Kyle.
Hey, man. See you, bro.
You as well. Y'all ready to do this?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you got your coffee already.
That's what I did.
I know.
Brought to my coffee.
Gotta have it. It's not
Gotta
coffee.
have it.
It's not
Right?
Kyle.
Hey guys, so you did not hear anything I said earlier, but thank you for joining us on the live stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope. We're kicking things off. We have an agenda. It's 6:05 right now. We are really going to kick into gear in about 10 minutes, kick off the festivities. Earlier you heard with no audio, you heard Corbin Bacall come on making the Martini experience happen for us. So this is a coffee Martini, espresso martini, very, very tasty. He's been doing this for quite a while. Very successful business venture, I would say. And the other guy I brought on earlier, I'll get him back here again so you can actually hear what he said. Willie came all the way in from Michigan and basically like streamed his whole story of his trip down here. So it's just kind of a really cool thing that he came down for this. But yeah, give us a few more minutes. Be a little bit awkward. You're watching the room fill in. That's okay. You're here with us, so enjoy.
Hey guys.
And talk to this guy for a little bit.
Yeah, let me try that martini you got rocking. So, sorry, I'm just now getting on board with the live stream. Yeah, we are here at WeWork. I'm sure Kyle has given you the spiel on absolutely everything. I was doing admin work, and in that, I mean, I was trying to find plates and trying to find a bunch of different things so that our guests can have something to hold their food on. But other than that, let's give this a shot or a sip, and we'll see. I mean, it's really good. So, I'm actually really impressed by this. So, let's do another one. Let's do one more. Do one more. I'm sitting here drinking this while telling them how I like it, and just taking my time.
Be more descriptive
with my face. Okay.
Give the people what they want. They want descriptive detail.
Oh, you like it?
Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah?
No, it's actually really good.
Yeah?
I'm not much of a liquor or vodka person, but this with the espresso and the coffee is really good. Corbin has done well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. I'm on it.
It's recording. Here, turn it off. Start, stop, start, stop. Start, stop. All right, I'm gonna go do what they do at a networking event. I'm gonna go network.
chemistry. It was the mutual connection or interest was content creation. So yeah, now they're doing a great job. You and April are really great together.
Yeah, y'all are.
I dig it.
Really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize how ADD I was until I started listening to myself.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That practice listening skills. Okay. I've always told her she was. She didn't think she was.
didn't think she was.
Now I know. All right, there's water.
Well, then you're not doing it right. That's the whole point of being an entrepreneur. No, I took after the summer.
Like I feel like I am about to be able to go.
That's hard because like I try to. If I don't do it every quarter, like I might disappoint. But I'll work hard. Now I work on my business.
I know you do.
So that's the thing. I would rather work for, like, I have to go to another city, like, in 2 weeks, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to go there on a Monday or Sunday in order to find a rework, you know what I mean? So,
We just need to talk and catch up.
yeah, I don't know how long I can stay for this.
I mean,
What's his name?
I wish it was.
I think it was amazing.
How are you? Good?
time. All right.
That's a fun way to get everyone's attention.
I don't know.
It's something that they would respond to, like, no, hey, goodbye. Like, what is one of those things that everyone's like, they hear it and they have to say it back?
You know what? This is like, so the live stream can actually hear us right now. So this is like, the live stream has an advantage right now.
They kind of have a bit of an advantage.
They have an advantage over the whole crowd because it's so loud that nobody can hear us except for the live stream.
Which is great because then we can capture this down. This could be our podcast tomorrow. It very well could be.
It could be. It could be.
Anyway,
so how do we want to open it up? Wing it? You want to wing it? Or you want to talk about it?
Wing it or talk about it?
No, neither. Let's not overthink it. Well, just welcome them in. And we want to jump right into caffeinated questions? Or is that too soon?
Show them the features.
Oh, yes. Let me get my phone.
The mic is dead. The mic is dead.
Check.
You turned it down or off? Yeah, we're on.
Now?
Yes. No. No. Yes. No. Yes. Y-E-S. Yes.
Okay. How do we get attention? This isn't LinkedIn. That's how it is. Hey, I don't know how to get anybody's attention in real life. Only on LinkedIn.
Clearly, you're doing a great job because everybody's
It's working out. It's working out. It's working out. What are you gonna do?
1, 2, 3, eyes on me. We have no teachers here? That got everybody's attention. Hey guys, we're just gonna take a real quick, break from y'all getting to know everybody so that y'all can continue getting to know everybody. My name is Kyle Witham, K-Dub for short.
And my name is KB, Kyle Burt for long. We did that backwards.
We did do that backwards.
Yeah, but same thing. 2 Kyles, Coffee with Kyles, LinkedIn Local Plano. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you. So, usually we save this part for the end, but the end is now the beginning is now the end. So everybody take out your iPhone, your Android, whatever you rock with. Take that out right now.
Yep.
Some of you know this trick already. A lot of you may not. So we're going to show you how you can connect with every single person in this room and every future conference, convention, etc. meetup that you go to. So everyone have the LinkedIn app? All right, so what you want to do is open it up, go into your connections, and as long as you have the latest version, you should see at the very top, middle, somewhere, it's different on Android, but you should see a Find Nearby button. Go ahead and tap that button.
Make sure you have Bluetooth enabled.
Yeah,
Because it works off of
Bluetooth and Wi-Fi.
And if you see a bunch of names and people populating in tiles, then it's working.
Then it's working.
And if you don't, you need a new phone. And that is what no, I'm kidding, we don't do that. So, let's see. We should probably show these people on the live stream how to do this at home.
Well, mine's not working.
Mine's not working either. Clearly, we need new phones.
Yeah. It never works.
It never works for
turned off.
us.
Oh.
Oh.
I didn't take my own advice, did I?
Off, on.
Dude, it wasn't working yesterday.
It wasn't working at all for us. Did we?
So apparently LinkedIn hates you.
LinkedIn put me in LinkedIn jail.
17,000?
What? Wow.
So tag over here found 17,000 people. Oh, okay, does it? Okay.
Nice.
All right, I was going to say.
Wow, that's a lot.
There we go. And this is why we do it in the beginning. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so the other piece that you can do is if for some reason that isn't working and you want to do it a little more personable, you can click out of that and go to the home button, and then at the very top there's a search bar. At the far right-hand side of the search bar, there are 4 little boxes. That is your QR code that LinkedIn just gave you. When you click on that, there are 2 tabs at the top. One is a scan tab, the other is the My Code tab. Click on your My Code tab, and then put it underneath the person that has the scan tab, and there's your QR code, and it immediately works. So, let me show you.
I'm just going to stand here.
Live from Booty College.
So the question is, what do we do next? Take our camera, hold it over that camera, like so, and over. And page not found. Classic. But generally speaking, that works. Always when you do a live stream.
Okay, so we actually just had one of the guests out here asking a really important question. How is doing this different than throwing a bunch of business cards at people like your Gambit from X-Men? No, not because it's green. Close. It's because this is a community you are trying to build.
Because it's blue.
But that's the actual real. That's the thing that I just told Joe, is this is not that, because we are here to try to build this community. So these are people that you would like to get to know and get to know what they're about personally and professionally. So this is not just another business card sales trick. Next piece is if you did not register.
Register.
Yeah, and tell them where.
Also, quick housekeeping item, if you are not a WeWork member, make sure you register. All the proceeds are benefiting Melody Pope. The link, we can give you the link personally. It's go.withkyles.com/LLP. It's a lot to chew on, but if you did not register, just make sure you do. It's benefiting a great cause. So support our charity here.
And without further ado, Corbin McCall of 9 Hours.
Get on up here.
Give it up for the guy clapping for himself. Woo! He's handsome, he's tall, and he likes watermelons.
I do like watermelons. Well, hey, how's everybody doing? Yeah. Well, one of my weaknesses is procrastination, so I'm kind of getting up here with a lot of procrastination. So I partnered with the Kyles. Last LinkedIn? Yeah. We did. So the first LinkedIn local we did here, we partnered together. And actually, so Charlie waved to us in the back. So Charlie actually connected the Kyles and I. And so about 9 months ago, I launched a mobile beverage business. And so Night Owl Coffee Cart is the name of the company. And so it was all derived from me going to weddings and me hating that it was dirty Folgers coffee, disgusting Moda Box wine, and Miller Lite. And I said, there's got to be a better way. I know y'all all felt my pain, right? Yeah? So I'm just kind of a lover of mixology and craft beverage, and so I said I want to start a mobile business that can really bring high-quality beverages to people, whether it's a corporate event, whether it's a birthday party, an anniversary, or a wedding. And so that's kind of my business. So tonight, they reached out to me and said, hey, we got to do something cool tonight. And I said, well, I'm actually not the biggest fan of networking events because they're all the same, so let's make tonight a little different. And so tonight we were like, my idea was let's do a martini tasting course, because one of my biggest sellers of my business is not only serving craft coffee beverages at weddings, but taking that into cocktails and doing espresso martinis, chai tea old fashions, cold brew gin and tonics. And so wanted to kind of extend on that tonight and do a martini tasting course. So that's what you guys got in store tonight. So give it up for martinis. So that's the plan. And so Crudo's coming up next. You want to come up here with me? Diana's going to come up here with me. So all of the martinis are fueled by Crudo vodka tonight. And so this would be a great opportunity for maybe Diana to jump in. And do you want to?
Sure. Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Diana Hamister. I work with Crudo Vodka. The martinis that we're using have the 9 times distilled and are flawless, the 15 times distilled. We're Texas owned, and we import our product from the Ukraine, 9 and 15 times distilled, award winning, and Crudo makes it smoother. So, I mean, it's a phenomenal product. It's Texas's version of a traditional fine vodka. So, we're happy to be sponsoring, and
Why would someone prefer Crudo versus something they're maybe used to drinking, like a Stoli or a Tito's or whatever?
Sure. So if you like Stoli, you'd like our 9 times distilled. At the 9 times distilled, it retains like a honey and a floral flavor to it. And then at the 15, it's best for clean drinks. So if you like a Tito's soda and lime, you'd really love this. Or if you like Kettle One, this is 15 times distilled, 6-time gold medal, award-winning vodka. And we would have won more awards. We just don't keep applying for them. So that's kind of
We just don't have time.
they're expensive and our vodka's good. So, you know.
Are y'all in any liquor stores, any partnerships
Yes.
they could keep an eye out for Crudo?
Yes, Spac's, Total Wine, Goody Goody, some independent stores. So you might have seen me there if you come in on a Friday or Saturday. That's where I live pretty much. So it's a fun time.
Awesome.
And then if you follow us on Instagram, Crudo Vodka USA, I believe you're gonna have to double check that. You can look up our liquor store tastings, but obviously we have it here for you to enjoy.
Awesome. I love the bottle too.
Yeah, the
so everything we're
flawless.
going to be drinking tonight is, as we do a tasting throughout the night, is going to be Crudo. And so keep an eye out for Crudo. Diana was so awesome to be with us tonight and to sponsor the vodka, which is awesome because it's not cheap if we would have just went to the store and bought it ourselves. So thank her. Keep an eye out for Crudo at stores. And then that's about it. Huh?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's it. I'm good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Sweet. Give it up for Crudo and Diana. Awesome. You're up. So who's a cocktail drinker? Everybody? Nobody? Everybody? All right. I want some audience participation. I want to hear your favorite cocktails. Really, you were excited when I asked that question.
Manly drink, cranberry vodka.
Love it.
No.
Do you use a pink straw or a lime green straw?
No straw.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
I got a manlier one.
What you got, boss?
Mine's a cherry vodka style.
Let's go. All right, now that all the men have thrown out the ladies' drinks, any ladies like to drink a whiskey or a scotch? Drinker right here, what do you got? Macallan 18, dang. She's like, okay, ladies. No, I'm just kidding. Anybody else? Okay, good old fashioned. Vodka tonic. Let's go. So as I was trying to think about, okay, how do I make a martini tasting business-like and tie it into a networking event, I thought, well, I'm a person who always loves to learn a little bit about random topic A or B. So I thought, briefly, I'd walk you through the history of the martini. And as I looked in that, I realized there's just not really a rich history, and so it's like a 30-second story. But this is my excuse to say this wasn't just a martini tasting. This was an educational business experience. So the martini I learned actually originated in the mid-1800s. Trivia question, when was the San Francisco Gold Rush? 1849. That's why the 49ers are called the 49ers, if you didn't know. So boom, let's go. It's almost football season, by the way, so that gets me excited. So mid-1800s, Martinez, California, I learned, was kind of a home staple of the Gold Rush, which is right outside of Oakland, which is right outside of San Francisco. And so as travelers were coming up to Martinez to go on, as gold miners were coming up to do the Gold Rush, or whatever you call that, gold mining or whatever, you got it. So they would stop in San Francisco and before they got there, and so they'd stay in a hotel. And so I don't know if this was before or after some traveler was going up to Martinez, but he stopped in a hotel and said, I want champagne. So I assume it's after he found gold. Anyways, the hotel said, we are out. And I assume he threw out some cuss words and said, why are you out of champagne? He said, don't worry, I'm gonna make you something similar. So a bartender threw something together. And so the Martini was originally called the Martinez, named from the city that it was made in, which was in the late 1800s. And then so from there, I've got notes because I don't remember all this. So there was actually, has anyone had an aviation before? Has anyone had an aviation? So that was actually the original Martini, was an aviation. So it was made with maraschino liqueur, gin, and lemon. So the aviation also has violet liqueur, but that was added later. So yeah, learning a little bit. So that was kind of the first take on it in the 1900s. 1912 specifically at the Knickerbocker Hotel in New York was the first time that dry martini was ever introduced. A bartender decided to put dry vermouth into a martini, and so now we have the dry martini. And then in the 70s and 80s, a lot of stuff got funky. Maybe some of you can attest. And so the 70s and 80s started to be this appeal for it's boring, let's add some spice to it, let's add something unique. And so the peach martini was born. I'm out of the, right there, good. So a lot of really interesting drinks started to be born. And then in the 90s, I'm a 90s baby, everything got really weird. Throw out some crazy 90s stuff for me.
Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles, what else we got?
Those crazy pants.
Oh, breakaways, where you'd zip them off at the knees. Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, yeah, you name it. So, and also, that's when the Appletini, and so all these crazy flavors started to be introduced, and the espresso martini was actually born in the 90s. And so that's a drink that's very kind of near and dear to my business, because espresso martinis are kind of our money maker. And so now I've at least told you something that you'll probably never repeat again because it's not that good of information, but you now have a tiny bit of history for the martini. So, hey, Kyles, there's one, where's the other? So that's kind of it, just for the history of the martini. I've now said I've taught on the history of martini. And so we're going to start probably a tasting as I transition the mic to someone else. And the tasting is going to be a 4-course tasting tonight. So we're going to do a tasting of the Cosmo, the lemon drop martini, traditional dirty martini, and also an espresso martini. The business skill I'm going to teach tonight is delegation. So I'm actually going to have you all build your own cups because they're little martini cups that kind of you clip in. And so I said, instead of doing that all myself, I can delegate this to the people who drink them because you got to have a cup in order to drink them. So I'm going to have you all kind of build your own cup, and I'll come around and pour probably in groups. So I'll probably hit this group, then this group, then this group. So just be patient with me. I'm one guy, and we got about 60 of you, so I'm going to make it happen. But that's it. So off to Kyle.
To the clap.
Are we ahead of schedule?
I think it's time for caffeinated questions.
Who said it? Who said it?
Okay, so caffeinated questions. Find a partner very quickly.
That you do not come with and that you do not know.
Yes. Not the person next to you.
Not the person next to you.
No,
That's right. You're up.
after you introduce each other, then Okay. Ready? You guys done meeting each other? Okay. Here we go. First one.
All right, so caffeinated questions. What you are going to do is we are going to ask you a question. You are going to ask the person you just met the same question. It is a this or that or a would you rather.
The only rule is you can't pick both or neither. You gotta pick one. So let's start with the favorite, the crowd pleaser. So, would you rather share a toothbrush with your partner right now or a Q-tip with all of us? You have to pick one. Everybody loves that one. Everybody loves that one. Toothbrush.
Listen to us. Listen.
Yeah. Guys, check this out. Everyone's having a blast. What did you have? As soon as you guys are done, your first round of martinis is ready. So, what do you want them to do? Single file line? 2 lines? Southwest Airlines style? Build yourself a cup and take it up again. This is the lemon drop. Special announcement. Please keep your martini glasses for number 2, 3, and 4. 7 o'clock. Julian Placino is about to speak. How creating content creates opportunity.
Check. Okay, guys, attention. Please, here we go. As a quick reminder, keep your martini glasses for rounds 2, 3, and 4. Now, introducing our keynote speaker of the night, talking about how creating content creates opportunity. I think that's what it says beyond there. Probably not.
I think so.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
It does say that. Good. I got that line right. So, oh, the camera moved.
How did that camera move?
It's all right.
No, it's okay.
It's okay. So, without further ado,
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Julian Placino.
Thank you. Clap! Everybody clap!
Well, hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Julian Placino. I'm a senior recruiting and staffing professional, the recruiting lead for Bottle Rocket, and the creator of the Pathways to Success podcast. So I have been a content creator now for the past 2.5 years, and I can genuinely say it has radically transformed my professional and entrepreneurial career in very public and verifiable ways. So what I'd like to do is to share just a little bit about my story this evening, and then give you the top 3 reasons on why I believe that creating content creates opportunity. So for the past decade, I've actually been very entrepreneurial, and I've started a lot of different businesses. I've started internet businesses, I've joined various network marketing organizations, and I've also dabbled in real estate. And they were all great experiences, but I never achieved any kind of unusual success with any of them. And nor did I really love any of these ventures either. But luckily, for my day job, I oversee talent for a company called Bottle Rocket. Who here has heard of Bottle Rocket? Bottle Rocket is actually one of the world's premier mobile development firms. And we build apps for incredible companies like Chick-fil-A, Starwood Hotels, Coca-Cola Freestyle. And a common idea that our founder, Calvin Carter, says is this importance of doing work that you love to do. And it's this perpetuated idea that not only do we just discuss this idea, but we also put it into practice. And one of the ways that we do this is by something called rocket science. And rocket science is actually our yearly hackathon, where we actually shut down the company for 24 hours, And instead of working on projects that bring in the company revenue, we get to build anything we want. Provided it fits that one criteria, you must truly love whatever it is you birth into existence in that 24-hour period. And I'd like to play for you a short video about how rocket science goes down.
It's one of those things that you have to experience it to believe it.
Rocket science is this period where you really, in 24 hours, find something that you're passionate about deep inside and do it.
Rocket science is 24 hours of craziness.
You're working with a team of people that are passionate about what they're doing.
It's our opportunity to stretch out and run.
When you give people an opportunity, both tools, technology, and the people around them to try new things, it really unlocks something inside of them.
Innovation is all about experimenting, taking risks.
Part of innovation is being forced to come up with quick solutions.
The heart of innovation is making something exist that should exist but doesn't.
We're willing to go further to do things well, and we're willing to go further to do things differently. Every year I'm working on something different. Rocket science accelerates that time for me so that I can be a growing person and give my clients something better every time.
One word to describe rocket science, I'd say it's freedom.
Exhilarating.
Fantastic.
Special.
It's crazy. That's incredible. Awesome. Every day we should be innovative.
What do you guys think about that? That's pretty cool, right? Well, the truth is, as amazing of an event as rocket science is, every year, secretly, I've always dreaded it. Because the truth is, we seriously have some of the best engineers and creatives in the country, if not the world. Like, did you see all those amazing things they were building? And seriously, what am I? I'm a recruiter. Like, seriously, what could I possibly do at an event like this? But this idea of doing something that you love to do, it just kept beating me over the head. And in 2016, I decided to surrender to this idea. So then I started asking myself, what is it that I truly love? And anyone who knows me knows I've always been into personal and professional development. And something I've always deeply appreciated was having interesting conversations with people that I found were interesting, especially with my mentors. And whenever I'd have these exploratory conversations, I noticed that value was being created in the form of advice, specialized knowledge, and even entertainment. So I figured, why not capture these conversations and then share them with other people who also might find value in them? So for my rocket science project in 2016, I launched the Pathways to Success podcast, where I interview various leaders about their journeys to success. Fast forward to present day, I produced 117 episodes. I have a regular listening audience from 12 countries. The show has generated a 5-star rating in iTunes and has been downloaded more than 48,000 times. And I've had the privilege of interviewing company founders, CEOs, New York Times best-selling authors, TEDx speakers, and a litany of amazing people. In addition to the success metrics of the podcast, I got sponsored. I got sponsored by a global lifestyle apparel brand called Compete Every Day. And you know, for me, I was just so blown away by anyone would associate their brand with what I was doing. And then it happened again. I got sponsored by Focusrite. Who here knows Focusrite? Focusrite is actually a multi-million-dollar global audio products group. And what's interesting about Focusrite is they typically only sponsor professional musicians or product reviewers. And I'm neither of them. But they saw the merit in what I was trying to build. And something that I started to realize whenever you create consistent content over time is people start to pay attention to you. Well, I was put in contact with a talent agency, and they wanted to meet me. And of course I have zero expectations for what's to come because I have a corporate background, right? But after one meeting, I got signed to the theatrical and broadcast division of one of the premier talent agencies in the country, Kim Dawson. and I became a professionally represented actor and commercial model. I don't know if you guys have seen this commercial that's airing right now, but I'm actually the "you're hired" guy in the Dallas County Community College type recruiting videos.
Community College's computer IT program employs cutting-edge technology, giving you the training you need to cut it in the real world.
You're hired.
Dallas Community College.
And then I became an actor, right? That was the craziest thing ever. Well, since then, I've been in commercials for Ford, AT&T, the American Heart Association, NFL. In September, I'm on hold for the role of Asian politician who speaks English. You should see some of these casting emails I get. They are some of the most racist things you will ever see. But if someone has to get paid to be Asian and speak English, it might as well be me. Well, the more and more these things started to happen, the more and more I got invited to speak. And I became a keynote speaker on this idea of doing work that you love that's centered around your strengths. So if there's one sidebar lesson I wanted to share from this part of my journey, it's this importance of doing something that you love to do. And that is not some cheesy motivational advice I'm trying to give you. If anything, I have a very hyper-analytical and pragmatic approach about the way I pursue anything. And I've learned that whenever you do something that you truly love, it unlocks energy, creativity, enthusiasm. Whenever you do something you love, it has a way of drawing out the absolute best version of yourself. And I don't know what that is for you, but take the time to do something that you love. There's no telling what kind of journey that can put you on. So the power of LinkedIn. Who here is familiar with the recruiting industry? Who's ever dealt with a recruiter before? Right. So the staffing industry, and I say this because I come from it, doesn't necessarily always have the best reputation within the marketplace. And they sell staffing services, right? And since I oversee talent for Bottle Rocket, the work that we do is so high profile, I've had droves of staffing companies fervently fight to earn my business over the years. And the thing was, I kept seeing the same mistakes over and over and over again. So then I thought, what would happen if I just leveraged my content creation background and started posting helpful videos on LinkedIn to serve this community? Now, as a frame of reference, my podcast has been downloaded 48,000 times across 117 episodes over a 2.5-year period. I posted one video on cold calling, and it generated 34,000 views in 9 days. So to me, it started to prove a point that there was a need for this content that I was creating. So I posted another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one. Since February, my content has generated over 250,000 views. And now I have recruiters and salespeople from all over the country in the staffing industry asking me for advice, coaching, help, and providing me content videos. My LinkedIn profile has turned into this crazy science experiment where the staffing industry is literally telling me their training pain points in real time. So then I thought, wow, what do I do with this? So my idea was codify some of these points and then start doing these little pop-up lunch and learns for local staffing companies, right? Well, I landed a meeting with the InSource Group, a local staffing company here, with Jim Thompson. And Jim said, Julian, these are great ideas, but it's never going to work in a lunch and learn format in 45 minutes. You have to come back to me with something more comprehensive and then layer in an accountability piece. So I went back to the drawing board, retooled my offering, pitched him again, and then he bought. But he didn't buy a 45-minute lunch and learn training. he bought a 6-month retained training engagement from me. And not only did Jim buy, but John Hibbs, the CEO of Odyssey. Well, the first acquisition of my 2 clients marked the beginning of my training and development company, which I've named after the podcast, the Pathways to Success Training Company. And my story was actually featured in Voyage Dallas magazine as an inspiring Dallas story. And you know, I've never been featured in an article like this before, but when I read it again, I was really emotional because this is true. In 2 years' time, I became a sponsored podcaster, professionally represented actor and commercial model, a paid keynote speaker, and now I'm building a training and development company that's completely changing the course of my career. But why? You can trace it all back from me creating content. Can you see this? So I want to give you the 3 reasons why creating content creates opportunity. Number 1, it creates trust, credibility, and authority. One of the cardinal rules in cold calling for recruiting is if I don't know you, I don't owe you. If I don't know who you are or what you want, I don't owe you my attention. And I discovered that content becomes a way for people to get to know you without them ever meeting you. And when you create it consistently over time, a personal brand begins to emerge. And that personal brand is real equity that you can take with you wherever you go. And having that social footprint gets you access to people. So the second point is it vastly expands your network. So why am I here right now? I'm here because I know one of our amazing organizers, Kyle Burt. But how did I meet Kyle Burt? I was introduced to him by a mutual contact named Adam Losha. How do I know Adam Losha? I was introduced to him by Tomas Kwiatkowski, business development professional at Plains Capital Bank, also episode number 27 of the Pathways to Success podcast. I can play this Kevin Bacon game 100 different ways. Yes. Right? So, yes, it's an interview show, and that's kind of a byproduct of what I do, but people start to find you from your content as well. Who here knows Bob Berg? Has anyone read The Go-Giver? National best-selling author, right? I don't know Bob, but he was on my podcast. How did that happen? So I actually posted a video of how one of my vendors earned my business, a very talented salesperson. He's in the room right now. Where's Kelsey Maddie? Kelsey Maddie in the back. Big hand for Kelsey. So in that video, one of my direct connections, his name is Jonathan, he left a comment. And in that comment, he tagged Bob Berg. Bob Berg and I connected in the DMs, and then we recorded. I can play this game 100 different ways as well. Do you see how creating content expands your network? The third and final reason is this. I see it as a form of giving. One of the best quotes I've ever heard on giving was by Jim Rohn. And Jim says, giving starts the receiving process. And man, isn't that true? You know, one of the ways that I use to disseminate truth is how many times can I see the same idea appear in a different set of contexts? You can get everything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. Zig Ziglar. We must give more in order to get more. It is the generous giving of ourselves that produces the generous harvest. Oren Sweat Martin. For it is in the giving that we receive. St. Francis of Assisi. If you Google giving quotes, you will find hundreds. Why are there so many ways to say the same thing? It's because it's true. And I realize that I'll sound overly altruistic when I say this, but in my experience, it really seems that the more I earnestly look to serve others with everything that I am, without the expectation of anything in return, the more I seem to benefit in ways I could have never dreamed of. And I don't know how or why this works, but it does. And Ralph Waldo Emerson most elegantly captures this process, and he calls it one of life's most beautiful compensations. And he says that it is impossible to sincerely try to help your fellow man without indirectly helping yourself. So ladies and gentlemen, why does creating content create opportunity? Number one, it establishes trust, credibility, and authority. Number two, it vastly expands your network. And number three, it's a form of giving, and giving starts the receiving process. Thank you.
Thank you, Julian. You are not off the hook yet.
Yeah, what's up,
man? So, questions. This is it. This is your chance with the man, Julian. Questions. Who's got them? Sir.
So after you do a podcast, do you transcribe that and put it online?
Sorry. Do you put it online as a transcript as well, or just the video?
I don't. So I record all local. So for all local recordings, I record live in studio with video, and then I script the audio, then I post it on iTunes. For anyone who's not local, we just record via Skype, and I just post the audio. I don't actually transcribe. Everything just comes in either through video or audio, then I do show notes. So, and you can check everything out at julianplacino.com just to see how it all looks like when it's put together. Letitia. I think for the most part, videos.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so the question was, what's the best way to capture content so it's most effective in promoting your message and your brand, right? I really think video is king, right? So it really depends on the individual and kind of their comfort level of being on camera, but typically that's kind of dealt with before you even, like that's kind of known. If you're going to be in a podcast, you're going to be recorded some way, somehow, right? But even if you want to only distribute audio, you can still just strip the audio from the video to do it that way. But video is king, 100%. Sir?
So many people are listening to you right now, and they're thinking, I can't do that. So that's not me. I can't get in front of a camera. I can't record audio. I can't do a podcast. I don't know how to do that. So many messages you see on the platform are just start, just do it. You know, what would be your advice to the people in the room who want to do and want to begin creating content, but they just can't get over that hurdle?
Yeah, I think every content creator who has established some kind of personal brand will say the same thing, which is go ahead and start. Like in the very beginning, I shot entire episodes out of focus. I had the mics turned off. You know, and in the beginning there was no video. I wanted to do something that was repeatable and consistently produced over time, so it was an audio-only podcast. But when once I leveled up my skills in terms of production, that's when I started adding video. So get started and just know the first ones are not going to be great. Right? But you consistently improve over time, provided you learn from the mistakes that you made in the past. Sir?
Piggyback on him.
Sure.
He's right. If you tell yourself you can't do something, you can't.
I believe it 100%, yeah.
So just tell yourself I can do this. If he can do it, I can do it, so go ahead and do it.
Yeah, and if there's a way that you could just test it small, like forget about like even distributing, right? Just shoot an interview or something like with you just on camera, get some feedback from it. And I think sort of getting feedback from others gives you confidence, like, hey, this is good or this is not good. But show it to various different people so you get an unbiased opinion. Yes, Craig.
Okay, so I like tracking numbers. So how do you track the numbers on LinkedIn for like reviews when you're throwing all those images up there? And I think that's important to have that information.
Yes, the question is how do you track content on LinkedIn? Well, it shows you all the views. So when you go under posts, it shows you the views, and it also shows you the title of the people who are watching it. And when you click on the views, it shows you who's watching it and also kind of where it comes from. So it does give you that information.
But it gets buried down in there. You can't find the old post anymore. That's what I'm finding.
So that does happen also, but and you know, I came up with that number because I had to scroll to find all of them, right? And sometimes it like hangs up, and sometimes it locks up, and I have to restart it all over again. But I don't know of another way to do that. Do you?
LinkedIn is deleting videos.
Wait, what? Wait, what? They're deleting videos?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, my thing is, you know, honestly, I was able to go all the way back to February when I first started posting on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know there's an app called, or something called FYI, where you can log in stuff, and I've heard that you can just put them in there and then you can keep everything all in one spot.
That would be cool. Has anyone experimented with that?
Yeah, so FYI is basically just like a source to like put links in order, right? So you can put the link to the video, like here's 10 tips, 10 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? That's what that's for. But that doesn't actually relate to LinkedIn. That's an external site that you just use. But you know, LinkedIn, this whole video thing, it's still brand new. It's only a year old, right? So I think, coming from the technology side, this is my opinion, but I think, and it's kind of obvious, the infrastructure does not match the demand. So it's kind of quite obvious. So the infrastructure does not match the demand, meaning they don't have enough computing power to handle all the video. So there's going to be glitches. It's going to be glitchy. It's going to be wonky sometimes. They're constantly beta testing new things. They're usually using the creators to do it. Some of the creators, they're reaching out to them and saying, hey, test this out, test that out. So we know from behind the scenes a little bit that, hey, this is like beta for them. So we are all the rats in this experiment.
What he said.
Yes.
Hi, Julian. I'm
Hi.
Lila.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I have a question following Craig's
Okay.
about your metrics. You finding that when you get inbound leads for business, as you have, after posting content, that the feedback that you get from those people, the ones that want to pay you, says that like the kind of content that gathers those kind of people inbound is as popular as the views and the metrics on LinkedIn? Are they the same, or is your audience on LinkedIn consuming your content, you know, disproportionately to the kind that gets you business?
So the content that I have is very specific on LinkedIn to the staffing community. My podcast, which is distributed through iTunes and all the other main podcast channels, it's more professional development, right? But what I can say about just content in general is that this halo effect thing is real, right? When someone first experiences you in a piece of content and then meets you in person, there is kind of an automatic positioning of authority, right? Where when someone interacts with one part of your business favorably, that favorability starts to translate into other aspects of your business, right? So I use kind of all my content stuff is kind of marketing, right? So marketing attracts people into your funnel, and sales is a lot of the face-to-face stuff that you convert. And I've seen that the more marketing you do, the easier it is to sell.
So you don't worry about it?
I don't, yeah. And there's probably better ideas about that. This is just my own personal approach. I'm sure the Kyles can help out with that as well, so yeah.
I have a question.
Yes?
As far as like, is there a general rule of thumb on how much to put out there and what's too much and what's too little and how often?
I think a lot of people, so I think the biggest thing that I did was that I wanted to create a schedule that I could stick to. And I think that's one of the biggest things is kind of consistency over time. So my commitment to the world and my audience was one new podcast episode every Monday, right? And I stuck to that for 2 years. And the only reason...
Video though, like on LinkedIn, like do people want to see our mugs like literally every day, or is it like once a week, or?
It really depends on the value that you're creating. Whenever I create content, I always go straight for the pain points of my audience. That's how I craft it, right? So I never create video that's just, hey, it's me for the sake of being me. It's I'm going after a pain point. Right. And I'm proud of the content that I put out there because I'm looking to serve the needs of my audience, right?
Oh.
I saw one up here.
Oh no, I thought she had one.
Yes.
I know you said you come from recruiting background, so if video has just started on LinkedIn, going forward when recruiters are looking, I know that, you know, people who have content or have video probably get a higher notice or whatever, so is that the trend now? So everybody's going to start posting videos now
personal branding aspect for just sort of putting yourself out there, right? Do you think, like, do you think it's even close to a saturation point? The Kyles are a little bit more experts when it comes to the technical aspects. I've never been good at that, but me, I'm good at building like habits, and I just keep going no matter what, right? And that's kind of my aspect to it. But Kyle, do you have a better response about that?
I would say, kind of like we talked about the other night, find your voice, share what's valuable to you first, and then what you believe the people you may be transitioning over to, what they find valuable, and do that.
Got it. Okay, so part of the job search is understanding clarity, right? Who are you? What are your strengths? What are the unique value that you can create, right? And sort of tailor that to the company that you're looking for. I'm happy to have a job search conversation with you afterwards. What'd you say?
We got to cut.
Okay, we got a cut. I'm happy to take any questions personally after this. Thank you.
So, Andy and I have a bit of a surprise for all of you folks. We are live at LinkedIn Local Bozeman, Montana, and that's Lacey. So we just had her jump in with us, and this is kind of the fun, cool stuff we created earlier today. But yeah, how are we going to do this audio, man? I don't know. All right, everybody, wait for Lacey.
Lacey, can you hear us?
Sort of.
Can you hear us?
A little bit.
Yeah, there you go. Now you can hear us, right?
Now you can
Yeah,
hear us,
sort
right?
of.
Yes?
Yes.
There we go. That'll work. So how's LinkedIn Local Bozeman going?
Oh, it's so good. You guys are way less noisy though.
Yes. I think this is the very first time that a live stream LinkedIn Local connection has happened. Which is why it's this awkward. This is probably why they don't do this very often.
And clearly we figured something out that we should not.
But it's Lacey's birthday today, so
it is.
I think we should all sing happy birthday to Lacey McDowell. She's one of the originals on LinkedIn that started creating videos. Let's all sing a big happy birthday to her. Ready? 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 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lacey. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Lacey. Hope the rest of LinkedIn Local Bozeman is a complete hit. You guys have a great time out there. Hold the mic
You
up.
too.
Big delay.
Am I still saying?
All right, let's go back to the future.
All right, bye, Lacey.
Bye, Lacey. Thank you.
So that's one surprise. That's one surprise. Wow, I need to learn how to work microphones. And I create content. Who am I?
Okay.
So
we have like 6 minutes.
6 minutes for our next surprise.
Do we have another martini?
Corbin McCall, Night Owl Coffee Card.
Yeah. So this is when I have to warn you that martinis are very vodka forward. So make good choices as the event wraps up. So we're gonna do the espresso martini next, which is kind of my staple. In addition, I've got some not really brochure, giant business cards.
Brochures.
With a little bit of info. So I'd love for you guys to grab one of those. Just take a look at what we do. There's some dates that I'm offering a promo on that I'm trying to fill for the rest of the year. So if you have a company event, wedding, blah blah blah, I'd love just to chat. In the meantime, I think that's it for me.
Okay. Is Charlie Wendell still in the house?
I don't think so.
Charlie Wendell. Bueller. Fry.
No?
Small fry. Okay. Nope. No one's here.
You got 5 minutes to kill.
I've got 5 minutes to kill. No one wants to hear me sing or dance.
Why not?
Because I can't sing or dance. I'm not even.
Come on, Matt.
I mean, it's real simple.
Well,
it's not your content. It's just right here in your very faces, right in front of your eyelids. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Y'all just mingle and talk to each other. Come get some coffee, espresso, martinis. Thank y'all again for being here. We are not done yet.
We have 4 minutes. I got a jet because I got to do one more thing. Next week I'm open.
Okay, he's out of town, but you like him to discuss his plans.
Absolutely, yeah. Hey, Mark, I'm there.
Good.
Appreciate it.
Hey, man.
Hey, Kyle, it's ready right now.
Ready? That allows you to do live.
What's up, man? Sorry, I pulled the plug. I didn't cut you over yet. You hear me? Hey, you hear me? I didn't cut you over yet. 1 second. I'm gonna cut you over right now. I gotta find you. What was that?
My sweet spot's
Where is it? Hang on, I'm gonna get you added, man. 1 second. This thing's not working. There we go.
What's great is we'll get to grow from this.
Yep. All right, you ready? Here we go. I'm gonna cut over right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the third surprise, or the second surprise rather, actually. So, and there it is. Ladies,
hold the mic up for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Didier from the Misfits out in Milwaukee.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? LinkedIn Local, Plano, Texas 2.0.
What's going on, dudes? You hear us?
How's it going? Am I coming through okay? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you're coming through okay. We're just, we don't have an audio system, so I'm holding the mic up to the computer speaker.
That's okay. I can kind of hear you talking in the background. We're good.
But
how is everybody
but we
in
can
Texas?
Hear you on the live stream. Dude, we're killing it in Texas. Drinking coffee, martinis. It's been a blast, man.
That's fantastic. I love it. I love it. Looks like there's some good networking going on.
Yep. Hey, K-Dub, turn the camera this way. Oh, yeah, tons of good networking. Tons of great networking. Turn it down this way a little
Take
bit.
me around. Let me see. It looks like a beautiful space.
What was that?
Looks like a beautiful space.
Yep. Yep. Pretty much. But hey, man, thanks for showing up.
Absolutely.
Give us one value bomb, one Didier bomb. Wisdom.
One value bomb. Don't wait to get started. Do what you love. Take some time out of your day today. Go to bed. Hit the pillow tonight, being one step closer to your goal. So when you wake up tomorrow, I mean, you've got a smile on your face, right?
Love it, man. Love it, man, dude. Keep it real out there, man. We'll catch you later. Thanks so much.
Sounds good. Thank you guys for having me. Take care of LinkedIn Local, Plano.
Thanks, man. Cool. Wish we had audio piping in. Hey, thanks, man.
Thanks, dudes.
You're on camera. You're on the internet.
You're on
You're on
live.
the internet.
We're live.
You're live. We're live. We're
What's
live
your name?
We're live on Twitch, YouTube, Periscope.
Yeah, what do you have to say?
Well, it's great evening, guys, and this is my first time here in LinkedIn Plano. You're real pros. Never been to one of them. Excited. The quality of the people, the quality of the content. Learn a few things doing the
For
podcast.
everybody that can still hear me, I'm going to make this real quick. Y'all keep mingling and doing what you're doing. We'll holler at y'all when we have to close up. Thank you.
What?
I said, y'all keep mingling and doing what you're doing. We'll holler at you when we have to close up. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so look that from.
So, when I come here, again, I can't sell anybody. We sell through distributors. So, like in Texas, we have a distributor that sells to Toyota or any other manufacturer here. The reason why I come here is just like you say, these are real people on LinkedIn. Some of them have 2, 3, 5,000 connections. So, why I think it's very, very big for our company to make the investment to go to all of these is every time I go to an event, I connect with somebody like you. If you get to like me or know me, it goes back to what you were saying. Nobody cares about us. We're a $500 million a year. We sell in India, we sell in Europe, we have 8 branch offices. What people like though is I'm the first American they've ever met. Interesting. Why? They drink too much? Why do they, so people get to know me. And then they start following the journey. And like you said, I started putting out content of me traveling, meeting some of these guys who are, kind of famous on LinkedIn. And people say, as he said, the halo effect, since you kind of go. Now people say, oh, you're manufacturing, you're really. Tell us about manufacturing, right? So like you, if you're doing a syndicate, now when you say syndicate, are you doing the production of like the audio? And what do you do? So you might be working with them. Oh, okay. So are you looking for talent then to speak? You said presence in India? Oh, yeah, social platform. Now, are you local here in Texas? So is your business all in Texas? Okay. Rental properties? Oh. So how are they going to be helping you? To just build your brand as an investor? Very good. Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. So you need me. I flew down here from Michigan. Yeah, and then I'm going back. But it's giving me that much ROI. I was just at Milwaukee last year, and I met with Willie Morris. Willie worked with Gary Vaynerchuk in New York City. Gary Vaynerchuk is a big name for me. So now, because of me having a meeting just like you and me, next week, I may be going out to New York City to meet with his team. It's just like I said, it's just once the rock starts rolling, and that's what, and everywhere you go, you're guys, hey, what have you done in Texas?
being said though, you have a story to share. Man from India, here in the Americas, building a business. Many people would listen, but it needs to come from you, not from Tyler. Oh, okay. So they're going to do the filming. Oh, okay. I got it. And then I'll post that again. Okay. I understand that. Good. So you're comfortable? Or are they going to do that? Yeah. That's pretty good. So how do you guys do each other? Friends, family? Okay. And you're still getting along. That's good. That's good. Very nice, man. Yeah, my suggestion to you, especially if you want to start investing in real estate, go to as many things as possible. I'm telling you, I am going as many as I'm going to try to do 6 between now and December. All, they're global. That's all going to be your competitors. But you're already doing it. Well, you know every major city. Atlanta, New York, Chicago. That's awesome. How many years? I was teaching about the secret. But you guys are based here in Dallas or Plano? And where, Frisco? Here. You born and raised here? Oh, really? So where did you go to school? Yeah, I do think though, as you say, doing both, because when you go to other cities, you're going to find other paths. See what I'm saying? Then now you invest in down here, then you go to New York, then you find the New York Kyle path, now you're there. That's why I think you should go. Because to your point, you won't have the investors there, but you'll find always local things. And that's what we do. I mean, globally, we sell distribution. So, like people don't care about Japan, but Hydroquip is based here in Texas. Everybody likes Hydroquip. Same thing.
live stream. Sorry to keep you guys hanging here. It's 8 o'clock. It's just about time to shut this thing down. Let me see real quick.
How's it going?
Good event.
Do anything?
I'm good.
You live?
I'm live right now. You want to close this thing down? Doing business right now. How'd your cocktails go? How'd they turn out?
Good, yeah.
What do we have here? Can you show the can you go through this with the crowd? The live stream?
We got the text on.
Yeah. Walk us through this.
Hey guys, this is Corbin with Night Owl Coffee. You think they can hear me? Is the audio good?
Right here, they can hear you right here.
Oh, awesome. So LinkedIn is pretty awesome, but LinkedIn local is even better, and that's because we can enjoy cocktails together. So tonight we did 4 featured cocktails. We did walk through kind of the history of the Martini. Featured 4 different martinis. The first one, I'll start in reverse order, was my famous espresso martini. The second one was one of probably all your favorites, the Cosmo. We did a really light cranberry touch on that. I'm not a big fan of that being a sweet drink. So we really used the Cointreau, the vodka, and then used, oh, step behind.
Are y'all videoing?
And so really did a delicious tasting Cosmo. Then also did a dirty martini. So that's going to be fresh with olive juice and vodka. And then we also did the lemon drop, which is probably the crowd favorite tonight. So the lemon drop featured Cointreau, fresh squeezed lemon, a little bit of simple syrup, and then crudo vodka, who's an amazing sponsor tonight. So hope you all can join us next time, and we'll do something fun like this again. We'll see you here.
actually probably gonna let you take it. We got. I'm kidding. Yes, ma'am. We have lunch with him. We have lunch with him tomorrow, so it'll be.
Stay out. Depending on where. I mean, I go down to Toluca, but I'm not gonna go any like. I'll be dead. I'll be killed.
Well, that's one way to shut it down.
What are you guys gonna say? You're on the live stream right now. You guys are all live.
Hey, Zach, get in here. Get on in here. Come on.
Somebody, hey, if you're not gonna get in here, will you allow him to get in?
I'm uncomfortable. I'm really tall for
Don't
this.
drop that.
Yeah, don't drop that one.
Drop it! Drop it like it's hot!
Mike Bryson,
They blame it on the alcohol.
I can't shut
Drop
this.
it like it's not yours!
So here's what I'm gonna say. I can't shut this down without him because without him I wouldn't be here. That would be
Because he's a technical guy.
And so I want to say that to everybody. Like I wouldn't be here where I am without this guy. So this guy is the Anyway, so guys, here's how we're gonna shut it down. Now that I have him, find your width, find that group, find that community. Do shit with them.
That was deep.
Let's all say LinkedIn Local Plano on 3.
1,
2, 3.
LinkedIn Local Plano!
Alright, smile for the camera. Regular shot. Crazy shot. Another crazy shot. Alright. Thank you. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you guys.
Alright, so we're talking Richard.
I saw you earlier on the show when they told us to turn it on, so I think I did connect with it.
Hey, you four people that watch this live, thank you. Thank you.
So come in behind you. Come in behind.
I'm trying to get better. They said you.
Thanks, Roger. If anybody wants to talk to a live stream.
So I organize job fairs. And I help companies. I'm not a recruiter.
You're not.
That's Julian and
Yeah.
Brandon.
Well, he's an internal recruiter.
Yeah.
Since I've been out of work, I was telling him I've been getting not bombarded, but a lot of external recruiters. Some of them seem legit, some of them don't. And I was actually having a discussion about that. I was a project manager. And I was with a healthcare company called Conifer Health. Part of a PMO over there, 17 of us. It was a great position. Being a part of PMO really helps being a project manager because you have your coworkers bounce off, they understand what you're doing. Because sometimes I've noticed, especially like operation leaders, they don't understand what a project manager does, you know, and there's always been that, I don't know how well you're a virtual
Well,
project manager.
I come from the SAP world.
No,
So, and PeopleSoft. And so, yeah, every project has a project manager.
Yes.
PMO and all that.
Yeah, but where I was at, sometimes, I've heard the stereotype of project managers being glorified secretaries because
they're not being used correctly. You know, sometimes a lot of companies think, hey, here's this operation manager, here's a project, be in charge of it. Yeah, if it's a small project and only involves their department, maybe they can get it done. But if it's a big project that encompasses multiple departments, to ask that project operational manager to do their work and still be, you know, up to date on status of other people that they're relying on and have dependencies on, that's when projects get all thrown off. And that's what project manager does. We're in the middle.
So you do it for IT projects?
I was doing it for healthcare projects, and this is what I've been running into. It's like, oh, these are IT. Well, you know, any project for a corporation, things that involve IT. Now, some of these job postings I've seen, like, well, can you work in this system? Like, as a project manager, I'm not supposed to be working in those systems. I have worked with the SMEs in those systems to get the big picture of the project done. But I shouldn't have. But a lot of these companies, they're wanting specific knowledge in systems. So it's like, I always like to use an analogy. Okay, and you know, these days, there's no company that has a project that doesn't involve some kind of IT, right? So let's say a coder. Okay, hey, this code needs to be changed. As a project manager,
and here
God bless you.
Because right now you got.
As a project manager, I'm not supposed to be the one in there reading the line of code and making the changes. I'm working with the SME that's supposed to be doing that, hopefully learning their dependencies with other departments. But so yeah, that's been kind of the trick of changing industries into other project managers. So I, of course, help experience and knowledge with healthcare.
Well, next week, see that guy, the gray shirt, and we host this networking event called Geek Reads, which is all IT professionals.
Okay.
So, and it's up here in Plano, at the Mason Center. So if you want to meet, even more folks.
That's all I've been doing right now.
You never know, right? Yes. So,
I need more. Like I said, I didn't even know about this until I'm part of the council.
Because you can.